I've read. So the first one is about equity and amplification. The sort of person that you see yourself being when you are wealthy, just picture that. Is that someone who gives a lot to charity? Do you see yourself being someone who would be helping your family a lot out financially, or just giving your time to charitable causes? That person that you see yourself being when you have arrived, when you've made it, is the person that you need to be today. So this is about you cannot all of a sudden become someone that you have never been just because you have wealth. Money amplifies the person you already are. If you are someone who gives, you will become more of a giver. If you are someone who's stingy, you will be even more stingy. So if I was to look at your bank account today, can I actually see what your intentions are? Can I see money, 1 penny that goes to X charity? Can I see a pound that's going towards, a family helping fund? Intention can never be underestimated. You are teaching yourself and training yourself that a percentage of your money, despite how little or how much it is, goes towards your values and the things that you want your life to be contributing towards. And that, whoever you see yourself becoming is the person you really need to be today. The main point is that even that £1 to a person who only has 10 still means a lot. And if you can afford and teach yourself to give away £1 when you only have 10, then you absolutely will be able to give away 100,000 when you have 1 million. Okay, so the second point to think about is leverage. Now, this is explained so well in a book called Life Leverage by a guy called Rob Moore, and he describes a really funny story of a guy who has a job. I think he's an engineer or something, and he earns about 50 grand a year. But all of his colleagues and boss and stuff are always super suspicious of him, because despite the fact that he always delivers on time, he does his tasks on time to deadline, they really couldn't fault him. He just never looked like he ever did any work, and they couldn't figure it out. But anyway, after much investigation, it turns out that this guy was outsourcing his job. For about 25% of the cost of his salary, he was hiring a guy in India or China or somewhere to do his job. And suffice it to say, he was fired pretty promptly. But, it depends on your perspective on whether you think that's right or wrong. But the author actually goes on to say that, instead of firing that guy, he would have probably promoted him, because he learned how to get the job done for just 25% of the cost. So this is the principle, is learning to leverage and harness the talents of other people. If there's anything in your life that you think someone else can do better, you need to learn to hire those people to do those things. And this allows you to free up your time to do the things that actually matter most, to do the things that only you can do, to develop those rich ideas, those money-making ideas that allow you to propel you forward and let you reach the goals that you are trying to reach in your life. So another example he gives of, let's say you wanted your lawn mowed and it cost you 20 quid to hire someone to come and mow your lawn. Now, you could say, well, I'll mow that lawn myself and save myself £20. But if you looked at your salary and your salary came to £50 an hour, what you've actually done is you've not saved £20 an hour. You have actually wasted £30 an hour, because you've taken up a task that only costs £20, but the worth of your time is actually £50. So again, it's valuing your time, knowing what tasks are actually worth your time, and anything that is worth less, allocate it to someone else. Okay, so the next one is show me your 10 closest friends and I will show you who you are. Your company really matters. The people you keep around you affect who you become and the person that you are. So as human beings, we have a desire to fit in. I think it's just a survival mechanism, or something that's just inbuilt within us. So if you are someone who's quite financially savvy, you're someone who has big ideas, you're trying to achieve major things in your life, but the people around you are fairly comfortable and settled and they don't believe in striving, or let's say you're really good at saving money and they're splurgers and spenders, over time it is very likely that our behaviors will acclimatize to the people around us, and the good money habits that we started off with will start to kind of fade away slowly as we surround ourselves with that company. So I suppose if you do find yourself in that situation, the key is whatever is around you will probably become a part of you. So intentionality and trying to surround yourself with people and whose lives are in line with your goals. And it's always, I think, much better to be a small fish in a big sea than a big fish in a small bowl, because it allows you to keep kind of striving and finding people around you who have a standard that's higher than yourself. And it just essentially means that whatever you're acclimatizing yourself to is something that's better, not something that's worse. You know, you want to be surrounding yourself with people who are doing better than you, either in how positive they are about life, how good they are with their health. You know, it's not always just about money. You know, you do want to have people that you look up to for money, but also, you know, people who are great with family. You know, those can be the people that you kind of grow towards and help you, you know, become the person that you're trying to be in those respects. So again, with this is that whole idea of your network is your net worth. Very likely the people you surround yourself with, whatever their income is likely to be the income level that you will think is possible for you. If all of your closest friends have really high income levels, you are more than likely going to think that it is possible for yourself. But if you are surrounded by people with really low income levels, you will also think that that is the limit of what is possible for people like yourself. So surround yourself with people who are where you want to be or who you admire for different reasons. So the next point is paying yourself first. Now, this is a principle I learned from The Richest Man in Babylon, and he essentially talks about how you need to allocate an amount that is for yourself. The same way that you know a percentage of your salary goes to tax is the same way you need to allocate a percentage that actually just goes to yourself. And we do this. We actually allocate a percentage of our income as a standing order. It comes out of our amount. It's a direct debit to our investments. And it's money that's gone, and we know that it will be there for us in the future. So just set aside a percentage. Again, it's about equity. You don't have to be earning a massive amount of money. Again, it's that example. If you can afford a Mars bar, if you can afford a chocolate bar, you can afford that same amount that you spend on the chocolate bar to set aside as an intention. Call it, you know, the Pay Yourself First Fund, you know, the PYF fund, you know. And it's knowing that you are setting yourself up mindset-wise for being the sort of person who allocates funds for yourself. Because let's be honest, the rest of that money, even though it's coming to you, you're just a conduit. You know, it's going to go out to the supermarket for your groceries. It's going to go to H&M or Zara for your clothes. It's just passing through you to go to other places. And so one of those places needs to be yourself, for yourself and for your family for the future. Yes, you have a pension, but this is money that you can actually have access to and isn't determined by how old you are. It's money that you determine when you want to access it, and that money is something that you can use for the things that matter to you. Okay, and last but not least is mindset and fervent desire. It's a bit of a two-hit point. And, you know, fervent desire is something that I learned from Napoleon Hill's book. What was it? Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. So Think and Grow Rich talks about fervent desire and how that kind of propels you, you know, that deep fire for something that just makes you make sacrifices today and do things that you otherwise wouldn't do to achieve that goal. I mean, this is something that I've experienced in my own life. I talk about in one of my videos where we lived in a leasehold flat. And because I was so miserable in the place, because I didn't get enough sunlight or light, it propelled us to do things, you know, to earn an extra income, to carry out, you know, additional work that enabled us to move out of that place. And, you know, thankfully I now live in a place where I get plenty of sunshine because we have a garden. But before, you know, it was so depressing, and that level of depression actually propelled me to change my circumstances. Now, right now what probably propels me is, something more positive. It's the love for my family. My parents actually live in a different country, and they're a lot older now. And it does get me really down sometimes that I can't actually be with them when I want, and when they need help sometimes I can't actually be there to, physically do it without taking, an 8-hour flight. And so this actually drives me to want to do more, want to achieve more, just because of the love of my family, and also to be with my husband's family. And so it's that passion and that fire and that love that makes me kind of work all hours, and that makes me read a lot. And it doesn't always feel miserable, because I know that what I'm putting in today is going to reap rewards tomorrow. The principle of sowing and reaping. So what is it in your business, or what is it in what you're doing that, makes you do stuff that other people wouldn't do, that makes you go the extra mile to actually achieve it, because you are seeing that vision, you are propelled by that passion. It's very difficult to kind of keep up the stamina if you are propelled just by money, because at some point you will burn out. It's the same thing as if you had a child that was unwell. There are things that you will do if you needed to pay a medical bill to get that money, because of that love for that child. And so it's the very same thing, having that mindset that also tells you that you can. My mom was the sort of person where, if there was anything that we ever needed, she would not say, I can't give you. She would say, how can I? The mentality that you can actually do something to achieve it. The mentality that, once you put in the work, you can actually achieve those goals. It makes all the difference. Mindset and desire are a two-hit combo that is so powerful in driving you to do things you may have never achieved without them. So, that's basically it for me. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Mumbai from The Inspired Baobab. I love talking all things money and mindset. So if you're interested in any of those things, please subscribe, please hit the like button, and I will see you on my next video. Bye-bye.